It is in order. That's first. That was second. Yeah. And that's the last one. Third, fourth, fifth.
Nice. Cool.
Oh boy. Okay. Yes.
Wow. This is
the progression. That was my first oil painting.
I have to capture this.
From start to finish. I can see a big difference.
I don't know, they look all so nice. I don't see a difference. They're all so nice.
If you look at his hand, it's very, very small. It's very disproportionate, but I will not change it. This is my learning.
Very cool to see it all together.
I did one in between. That one was in between.
This one?
Yeah, that wasn't from a workshop. That was
that was
the same one as that. Yeah, so that was the
I
same.
can see a huge improvement.
From first Krishna to that one, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see here. Okay. I'm gonna do. Yes. Alrighty. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so first of all, thank you all for coming. I have 3 little tips. This will be our 6th workshop. So I'll just dive right in. My first tip from learning from Dhrti is to be open. There's YouTube, there's thousands of artists out there, but the reason we're learning from her is because she has 50 years of Bhakti art and a very special way of teaching. So I just implore you to throw everything out for these 4 days. Whatever master artists you've learned from in the past, it won't compare in what her teachings will be. So my second little tip is to take notes, because she's going to give a lot of golden nuggets over these next 4 days. And I actually wrote down like the top 10 tips from Dhrti at one point. There's so many golden nuggets, and you're not going to remember them when you walk out of here, because you're going to just be in bliss from painting and watching her paint. And my last tip is to compete with yourself. This is about you, your learning, and it's, I was competing with myself, and I see, from painting 1 to painting 2, I'm just, how can I make it a little better, and how can I learn? Because Dhrti's been teaching for many, many years and has been painting since before you were 17, right?
Yeah. Back up here like,
yeah. So just take wherever you are, she will help you progress to the next level. So this is not a competition between each other. It is a place for us all to learn and grow together. So with that, I would like to do a proper introduction to Dhrti. She is a powerhouse Bhakti artist. In my humble opinion, she's the best conscious Bhakti artist that we have to learn from. Her methods are very simple and easy to learn and apply, and it's just such an honor to be able to learn from her. I also believe that her and her late husband Ramdas were both very prolific painters. A lot of the work and art you'll see throughout the world is done by her. So to be able to get the opportunity to learn from her is a once in a lifetime experience. So you're here, you get to be a sponge and learn from an amazing artist, and she's left a legacy. She's helped Srila Prabhupada with his legacy of bringing his books to the vision that we can always have in our minds. So I'm just so grateful and just want to introduce. Wow. I love her so much.
She's good. Thank
Dhrti.
you
lovely opportunity for devotional meditation and doing something that's already, for most artistic people, it's already a place where they go to kind of lose the world, you know, just leave those things behind and enter into another deeper place within yourself. And then on top of it, when you focus it on, devotional personality or lila, it's like I said, magical. It's very potent. The possibility, and I feel very grateful that I was able to make this my life. But it can just be something you add to your life. It doesn't have to be your life. But it's like kirtan. It's just visual kirtan, and this is where I kind of landed. And like I said, I just always feel very grateful that it worked out, and I still love it. I still love going. My studio is sort of it's my sacred place. It's my temple, and I approach it that way. When I come in before I work, I offer incense to Prabhupada and to all the to what I'm working on, even to almost the easel is my altar, and I try to keep that mindset. This is my special. It's a sacred place for me, and yeah, I feel, like I said, just blessed that is a mentality that I easily slide into, and I encourage you to experience some of that, and I think we'll have fun. It's also fun. So it's a mixture of everything. It's like a big soup of happiness, frustration, hard work, fun, laughter, all of it. So today, like I said, we're gonna really start with the drawing. So we don't have too many days. So today we'll start. Everybody having this. This will be our subject today, Miss Revati, and as you see, she's adorable, beautiful. There's a couple of things I want to point out so that we don't fall into some problems. Though she is lovely, and part of her magic are those eyes, right? But there's a lot of shadow in the eyes right now in this image, which kind of adds to some sort of a mystical quality. But I just give you in advance a little bit of attention to not focus too much on the darkness around her eyes, so that she doesn't look like a raccoon.
Yeah, just like
So it's I can show you other references that I've used over the years on some paintings you've probably seen, or how I approach it. That the reference isn't perfect. You have to adjust it, and you use it. It doesn't use you. This is not a portrait class of let's do a portrait of Revati. This is just using this. The main focus, the main reason for this is for the proportions, basic proportions. How the head tilts. Like we were talking yesterday. At first glance, it looks like it's a direct, straight on picture position, but actually it's not. It's almost slightly 3/4. How to, as a indicator, we see all this here. This one's almost gone. So it's very subtle. It could have easily have been, oh look, it's a straight on picture of a girl, but it's not. And another thing is, we will add a little more. I will add a little more neck, so it's not just a head. So it needs a little bit of a the shoulder. So unfortunately, it's not indicated here. We'll have to include it anyway. So I was saying that these references aren't perfect, but you have to use some of your abilities, and that's why it's important to develop your abilities to make adjustments. Like I would also say, like her hair is not appropriate. Though it's very pretty in this picture, I will be changing. So I would encourage you to also do that. But especially the area that's most concerning to me are the eyes. Okay, just be alert to that. So now I'll start. Why don't we start, right? Why not? Let's get a head start. So how do we, I don't want to disturb this, but
I'm gonna put it on here. I'm not here to draw Dr. Seuss.
though it's a very, very, I recognized it right away, right? Hey, that's Dr. Seuss. So I'll show you one example of, I did this a couple of months ago. Okay, so this was a study of something I will possibly do in the future. It's also Radha. It's Radha and the parrot. So this is the drawing I did, right? This is a pencil drawing. But I want to show you the reference I was using. I think you'll see the difference.
I don't know if we can see that still.
Okay. And the reference for this was her. So I did a dramatic change to her. But it was suitable enough for me because I had the proportions, I had the angles, I had the light and dark, and I just built on it. Mm-hmm. Now, and this is what they all do. Everybody, all artists do this, unless they're like photorealism or something. But I feel like I do not want to. I want to have enough skills independently that I'm not dependent completely on a reference, and that opens the door for a little more uniqueness and creativity of who you are. So I'm not just copying a photo, or so many times people say, "Oh, who's the model?" Sometimes there was, sometimes there wasn't. It depends, and but there's never been. I never use them exactly, which can be disputed. But I feel for this genre, for this type of work, that these, like I said, these are just foundations, and then a jump start, and then we move on. Okay, but the ability, the skill of the drawing, have I emphasized that enough? Is so important. So even after today, we go back to later. Draw. Okay, here's your homework. We're starting homework right away. Look at that. Find a mirror and do a self-portrait later tonight, just to get the hang, just get the feeling of drawing and immersing a little bit. Okay, so here we go. Starting with that, let's see what comes up. So there's a few basic tips that are basic throughout any kind of drawing education that a head is basically an oval, an egg type shape. So, like I said, it's not straight on. It's just slightly tilted and slightly 3/4, a little bit turned away, slightly. So I'm already. So this, see this, the page is this way. If you right away can, oh, it's slightly tilted, so I have to keep that in mind. So the head is on the axis, you might say, of the neck. It moves around, it can do so many nice things. So it's like that, slightly like that. So if she was straight on, it would have been just this. Another thing, it's just this little marker. You see how I'm holding it in this stage? Holding it like this. It just, I'm using my, I'm forcing myself. It's a little uncomfortable at first. You want to do this. But this is restrictive. And this just sort of frees your arm. And you get, eventually you get comfortable with it and you train yourself. And it just works. Okay, so okay, we have like this. So if it was straight on, that, and here, this is if it was just a direct, straight face. Okay, and then, this stuff. But this is slightly tilted. So I want to be sure and not miss that. That's what makes it, gives it charm, actually. So you have to juggle all these things, proportion, light and dark, the reality of it, and then another element, the charm of it. What makes something lovely or beautiful, or especially in this field, in this type, Krishna art is all about Krishna's beauty and Radha's beauty, and it's something to consider. It's not only that we want to do a pretty picture, but to give it depth and mood and all this. It's like a lot of stuff is going on, and scan it almost. I think that's what my brain is doing. I'm scanning the the best elements of this, or like I said, the charm of it. What makes her so lovely in this particular photograph? Her head slightly turned, and her expression is very subtle. She's not giving a big smile. It's very delicate, and I think we all pick up on it right away. Oh, that's so nice. But what makes it nice? So that's all the thinking that goes on, actually continuously, as I'm from drawing to painting to the last stroke. I'm like, still, what could I do to push it a little further to something better, higher, something else? Maybe I don't even exactly know, but you just keep you keep working it out, and things appear almost. Okay, big talker here, huh? Okay, here we go. So, okay, now this part's going to be a little bit. Okay. Nice, sort of like that. Now, I don't give exact proportion. You can look that up. I prefer for myself, and I encourage you to just train your eye where things are, instead of with a ruler measuring, or how far is it, how many, there's 3 eyes worth. There's all kinds of things like that. And that they're helpful, but basically, besides a few basic tips, I think it's very important to train your eye to coordinate, to see it right away, the distance, the space, and just, again, like exercising. Okay, here we go. So here's the nose, something like that is, okay. And I do this everywhere. I'm sorry, Priya, she's seen this 100 times. And I do this 100 times, and it just works. So here's the space for the eyes. And I say it's sort of like aviator glasses, basically. Okay, then space for the nose. And this is actually the middle of the mouth and here. That is this. So I haven't hardly done anything, but it's already like evolving, appearing a little bit. Okay? And then I enter in. Okay? So I want to, okay, within this is the whole area of including the eyebrows, the whole thing. And then, okay, something like that is that. Okay, then something, her hair will be here, important, include her ear. And then there's a little bit of ear here. Ears are another little tip. The top of the ears are generally by the eyebrows, the bottom of the ears generally closer to the nose. So this is the nose area. This is the shadow under the nose. Later I will develop it. Okay, this is that little, should get the names of them. Okay, and here's, here. So I haven't drawn everything in. I haven't, done this. Do not do that. Just don't do it. Take it away. Because there isn't actually any lines. They're forms that are like mountains or hills on the surface. So we don't want to stifle it by putting in this line, that line. So here, that's a slight smile. I haven't even done this bottom thing even, and it's already has the look. Okay, that's the beginning. Okay, so here's her jaw. It's very soft. Chin. Just a little bit. Okay. Questions at all? So it seems like, really, this is what you start. Yes, every time I start with that, and then also another thing. And when we get to the drawing, you keep for all these marks, all these foundation marks, these directional lines, very light. They're um, just very delicate points that you, for your memory, for you. Oh, okay, you're like engineering. You're building. You're building. Yes. Okay. Another. Like with a house or structure, you have the foundation, and without the foundation, you can't put on the curtains. So a lot of times I've seen when we start, we want to all get into all the fun stuff and the eyelashes, gopi dots or something. I don't know. But we have to restrain ourselves and wait for that. So a lot of the paintings that you've seen that are all ornate and they're full of jewels and so many nice details. My personal way of doing it, because Prabhupada said this service is deity worship actually. So I try to approach it in that way, like I said. The easel is my altar. I try to create a certain mentality of that. But also when I paint the figures, many times, most times, I paint them. Um, in older paintings, I actually used to just paint the figure without clothes on, and then dress them as I continued, because I wanted to know what the underneath the support of what was going on. Um, I don't know if you're familiar. You know, it's an older painting of the rasa dance, and all the figures are running and dancing. All of them were without; they were just figures. And then I put on the dhotis and put on the clothing, and then at the very end, I'm just putting on, the crown or the ornamentation. And I still do some of that, the jewelry, the garland. That's at the end. I don't even bother with that because I want to understand to make the structure substantial and believable. And you go, okay, because you are communicating to the viewer. That's what you're doing. Just like someone's communicating through kirtan or song, they're, audio. This is visual. Of you have to communicate the idea or this image so that somebody else who's looking at it. That's why you can, just a few things, and your mind's already figured it out. Oh, it's a head that goes like that. Okay, you don't really need too much. So we want that basis. Absolutely. Okay. So any questions? No questions? Nothing.
I have
Yes.
a question.
Yes.
So when you drew the center line of her tilted face, did you keep it equidistant or this
Yeah.
portion was long? I guess I missed that one.
I started, good question actually.
You drew the oval first and then you put the.
And I put the line kind of equidistant, but because actually it's not equidistant. You're right. And I kind of did it almost unconsciously, but that's a very good point. It's slightly over here, slightly to that side. There's more showing on this side, slightly, because in this particular pose, it's just a little bit turned. But where I got really conveyed that information was through the ears. That's where I focused. But you're absolutely right. So that, and also another thing just to keep in mind when you start drawing, the space between the hairline. These are all great points of measure. The end of the eye to the beginning of the hairline. This space is very important. A lot of times we kind of, let's just on the side. It's very important. See how large, this also gives the indication this side's wider. Look how small this side is because the head is turned. Okay, so those are all keys of placement of things that will make the difference between this and just slight. Okay? And also, important thing, it's not so visible here, but which eye is higher? You know,
I don't know. The eyebrows on that side seem high.
it's
Yeah.
it's maybe going slightly,
Yeah.
but actually her eyes are just,
Yes.
again, it's subtle. That's why I was like, ooh, this is going to be a little challenge, even though it seems almost simpler, but it's actually, because it's more subtle, like a figure this, way harder than that, because these are extreme, it's clear. This is like, oh, everything is, how do you make that interesting? Very tricky. I hate just standing tricky stuff. So similar for the head. Yeah. So because her head's tilted, this is this slightly like this, and everything follows suit. You know, make it go down a little bit, like that, and like that. Everything is going to be following that angle, that subtle angle. Okay. And I'm going to draw with you. We're all going to be drawing. Okay. So here. What I said before.
Can you draw on the easel?
Oh.
She's so patient with me recording. Every time I tell myself I'm not going to record, I'm just going to focus, and then I'm like, I have to record it. So,
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to
History.
edit one day.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Condense things. Okay. So, easy, huh? All right. Okay, I'm going to sit. And if you want to come closer, whatever you want to do. Okay. So, same thing. See how light I am?
2.
Are they all HB, by the way?
Yeah.
I don't like that. No harder ones. I mean,
No,
softer.
softer. I have charcoal. You want your charcoal? Charcoal?
All right. All right. We did that last time and it was
Yes.
actually fun. But
Your charcoal choice.
No, I'm going to use what everyone's going to use.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just going to stick with this. All right. So the light is going to be light because the line is going to be light because the pencil is a hard pencil. So, okay. All right. So again, here's the directional line, something like that. So let's be more careful. I'll be more careful. See, so I moved it, the center line, a little bit over. Like that. Okay, here's my aviator spot. Here's this. Here's kind of the middle of the mouth, and here's the underneath. Very basic. Again. Ooh. Put the AC on. Sure. Okay. Here's Okay. So even though I see there's so many lines going on, I'm not worried about them. I'm just, okay. So here's that distance I have to take into account. It might change, I might adjust a few things, that's okay. Here's her with that. You know, it's a little confusing with her hair, but there's more head behind this ear. The ear fits inside this egg shape. Jaw. Okay. Oh, here's another little tip. This end of the eye and the nostril, they line up more or less. So I keep that in mind. Okay, and this one is here. It's a little different because the head's tilted, but here's the top of the ear. Now this one's a little higher. Now just a little bit, and it goes down. Might have to extend it. So we're working. It's not like, oh, every line I put down is the end of the world. It's okay. Just it's evolving. And in general, from this beginning to while you're painting till throughout everything, don't put the pressure on yourself that this is it. This is perfection. And if I don't make it perfect, it's awful. It's always evolving. Okay? Do not worry. Someone told me this a long time ago when I was just beginning. Very nice, you know, when we're doing a lot of kind of pressure painting, you know, production for the books. You know, I was translating a lot of, it was intense. And I was quite young and new and all this. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm thrown into from school to like make something fantastic printable. Wow. So I was nervous. And one older devotee, he said to me when it was, every day you accomplish a little something, you're pleased with a little something in your painting, a little finger, something, your day is a success. And immediately it just calmed me right down. And I think it's just a nice application to whatever one does in life even. Every day you think, what did I do okay that I was okay with today? Okay, it's a good day. Rather than just seeing the huge mountain of frustration and why isn't it looking amazing? Why isn't it working? Whatever it is. You know, that's a lot of heavy. So, little tricks how to keep it light through this process because it is challenging. I make it sound easy peasy. It's not exactly that, but it's a lovely journey to go on. That's what I keep action. Back to work. Okay. Here's her general area of the mouth. Oh, this is like this. Especially she's smiling, so it's a little wider. But general, always, the end of the nostril to the tip of the mouth is a line like that. So I'm keeping that in mind. I'm just marking something like that. It's the middle. Here's that shadow underneath her thing. That. Here's her ear, something like that. A little longer. Here's her jaw. And this is very important. This distance, something like that, and the neck. And there's sort of a neck here, unfortunately not really. Okay. So here's that thing, here's her smile. And here's a little separation of the mouth, just for your understanding. I'm not going to be doing that in the painting, but it's for to understand the different shapes that are here. So here, there's a little triangle, kind of like a cat. I'm simplifying, of course. And here's other triangles. One triangle, there's an upside down triangle, there's another triangle. And here is a rectangle. And then on the sides is a triangle. Okay? And it seems like, no, it's not that. It is that. And I highly recommend looking at it, that trying to see that. Here, everything is a dimension and a shape, like I said before. Okay, so that's that thing. Here's another little, my favorite thing to look for. I will be repeating this. The chin is like a little box. Do you see, even me putting that in immediately went like that? Created, this is all illusion. Maybe that's what this class should be. The transcendental art of illusion. And so here's the chin coming forward. This is going back. It's almost like a little triangle too. And here's another one going back. Okay, and there's that. And then there's this plane. So you need the side of the face. You have to, even you're not I'm doing this I'm exaggerating what's going on. Even though it seems like it's flat. If you look at it flat, you'll paint it flat. You'll draw it flat. So you have to kind of superimpose the volumes that are going on. Okay, so here's what is going on. So here's that little knee. Then there's this little box here. Then there's another thing that goes here. This is the side of the nose. Okay, here's that is the top of the nose. See, it's all structures. Okay. Eye is a cavity that the eyeball fits into. So I'm not concerned with all the pretty just yet. I'm thinking structure, and I'm exaggerating it so you can see. So try to see those. There's triangles everywhere, and they're so lovely. Triangles and rectangles, just shapes. Okay. Now, just quickly, I'm indicating light and dark quickly. So she has, this is going to be a little different. The smile, how her See, I'm not getting into all the nice details just yet. Now, what's the light and dark? The upper lip is a little darker, the bottom one's a little lighter. There's this shadow. There's this lip chin. There's the shadow underneath onto the neck. Okay, any questions? Okay, so I put this, I'm looking at it, I think it's a little too high, no problem. Let me lower it a little bit. Okay. Now after I've done some, this kind of preliminary structure, maybe now I'll turn my pencil, and a little more details. Any questions? Okay. Any questions? Okay. Shall we dive in?
Yes.
Dive in. Grab paper.
All right, papers. Here, grab a pencil. Yeah. I mean, I think for you, you have the softer ones. Oh, actually, no, you're right. I did have a bunch of six Bs. It's okay. It's harder. It does.
Charcoal's a little tricky. It slips around.
Printed it out, it made all the black. Okay, first time. It's kind of interesting to see where all the dark is. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Goes with the darkest parts. Oh, very, very interesting. I
If
printed
that's
out-
helpful.
I printed out a couple of these before I could do that.
Darn it.
anyone wants to use charcoal, it's helpful to use charcoal because it gets you to not draw lines. It gets you to like focus on the softness. Use someone else. Jingle it away.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That's, quiet that.
kind of fun.
The charcoal, actually.
Charcoal.
Oh, okay. New challenge.
I guess my nose between two